I'm now speaking with Mike Avilla, City Council candidate at large. Mike, let me ask you, what made you want to get involved in this city council race?
I would like to be able to sit on city council and help keep city spending down and maintain a infrastructure that is improving, especially city sidewalks and city streets. I would like to be able to continue to support the schools in Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne is a great city of family, and the schools are what help provide that structure, and especially the public schools. They need our support.
I mean, but why do you want to enter? I mean, they're to an extent working on all those things right now. How can you make a difference?
Well, I'm a lifelong resident of Fort Wayne, and I like what my life has been given by living in Fort Wayne. And through the leadership roles I've had in other jobs and that type of stuff, I feel like I can affect a good future for Fort Wayne by being on city council.
You know, outside of this political arena, what other things have you done that really prepared you for this type of endeavor?
Well, I've been a leader in the construction industry, and I've represented folks in the construction industry, so I have been involved in trying to improve the quality of life and maintain good paying jobs with people that are trying to have successful families, and that has prepared me for this type of a role also.
When you ask people about what does Fort Wayne stand for, you don't get any clear answers.
Well, I think, like I said, Fort Wayne stands for family. The family structure has been strong in Fort Wayne, and I want to make sure that we continue to provide that type of structure. And that would be through good paying jobs, infrastructure. People want to be proud of their homes and where they live. The sidewalks and streets have to be maintained, and they want to be proud of their churches they go to, the school systems that they go to. Those are the things that I think immediately have to be continued to be addressed. But also, I think it's a good idea to look at other cities and what's successful. I'm not saying to bring that back and mimicking that exactly, because Fort Wayne is a different city than some of these cities that they're looking at. But just like the new downtown river development, you know, I've been in a city that has a really nice river walk, and I enjoyed that. It was really nice to be able to get out and walk and have a purpose to get out and walk. So, you know, there are some improvements that can enhance the lives of Fort Wayne residents. You know, looking back in history, it is amazing the exclusion that there was going on at different parts of history. And it is good for people to know about that, and good to know that even when those laws or those ordinances or whatever they might have been change didn't happen immediately. It still took a long time for people to accept that change, and it just amazes me that there was laws in place or restrictions on certain types of people. To me, that's just always been wrong, but it is a part of history, and it needs to be understood so that we don't revisit that type of environment or situation.
You mentioned that you were in the construction industry, and now you are seeking political office. Where did that activism spirit come from? I mean, grandparents, parents, where?
No, it didn't come. Years ago, my dad was a precinct committeeman. We had a little bit of politics in our family, but it was never a direct relationship with anybody immediately in my family or anything. But where it came from more recently was how much the introduction of an ordinance or a law on the state level can affect the working people. And I am very active with, obviously, the working people in my role as representing the bricklayers and tile setters in Fort Wayne, that it just seemed like a lot of things were able to be changed, and it wasn't in the best interest of working people in general, not just organized labor, but working people in general. And I learned from my roles and leadership positions in what I do that the best way to affect change is to be part of that change. And that's where I decided that I was going to get involved. And because I've always been a voter, I've always been active since I was I was at the age where I could vote. I've always been involved in the electrical process, But then I decided that I can't sit back and let other people make decisions. I need to get in there and help make those decisions too, and be able to utilize my past experience, and hopefully for the betterment of people.
Well, one of the things we're trying to do is have these series of interviews make sense to younger people, because they have to be engaged, just like you just said, at a young age, and see where they fit here in the process. And we're really encouraging them to come out and meet the candidates. But why do you feel that having the opportunity to listen to the wide spectrum of political candidates is beneficial to young people, but even the whole populace?
I don't think people get the opportunity all the time to be able to understand what a candidate might stand for and be able to get a personal feeling about how that candidate relates to the public, and how sure they are that what they say they're going to do. And I think the more they get around to meet candidates and listen to them talk, especially on a more casual basis, they can kind of get to trust that person, that what they say they're actually going to do, because that's the part that needs to be executed, is not just say it but do it. And I think that's an important part. And young kids need to be able to believe in what they're going to vote for, because I think that's why the voting outcome has been so low. The turnout is because people feel like they voted for certain candidates to do certain things, and then they were let down. And that's what we have to change for the future to get more. I mean, we should be at 80–90% of the people should be voting. And when there's a problem like that, we need to look at it and find out what the solution is.
What is the solution? Any idea?
Well, I think the solution is going to be something that over time, candidates that are voted for and elected end up representing what they ran for in the first place. And that's, I think just paying back to the voters in a sense that they were true to their word, as good. There will be changes. I mean, you can't always stick exactly to because you don't know what the future holds, but you should not run on one thing and then do another.
Okay, now you're running at large.
Yes.
And it's been said for a long time that the South Side here pretty much has been neglected. What do you see needs to be done on the South Side, or what do you want to do on the South Side?
Well, I already have an office on the South Side. I grew up on the South Side. When I was growing up, my father had a dry cleaners at Pontiac and Anthony, and that's where our family, my dad made a living. So I'm very familiar. I'd like to think that the whole city of Fort Wayne is a unit, and all parts of the city should get attention. On the South Side, I'd like to see more businesses that attract more people to come and shop and do business there. I think what happened out here at the Southtown Mall area, growing up, that was a Southtown Mall, and now it's reformed into some businesses that I think are bringing shoppers, and it's a nice place to shop, and you can find a lot of selection. But I think there's more to do. I mean, I hear a lot about more restaurants and more, maybe someday there might even be a hotel out this way where people can stay overnight, and the visitors will be attracted to this area. So there's a lot of things that could happen, and I think businesses have to be assured that the shoppers will come and do business there.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you wind down, for the people who haven't had a chance to meet you and watch you talk or just see you, period, what do you want to tell them? What do they need to know about you in terms of what kind of a candidate you will be for them?
I'm a good listener. I am a caring person. I understand that I can't fix everybody's needs. That would not be possible, and I'd never guarantee anybody that. But I would let them know that I'm a good listener, and I will be an advocate for them, and I will be a responsible councilman, and I would support the environment where people can have good lives in this city.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
and thank you for watching.